Imagine scoring the most beautiful goal of your life. The crowd explodes. Your teammates rush toward you. The stadium shakes. Then, the referee raises one finger. No goal. Not because of a foul. Not because the ball went out. But because of one tiny step. A single step can erase the greatest goal of the season. And here's the surprising part. Millions of football fans still don't fully understand why. By the end of this video, you won't just understand offside. You'll never watch football the same way again. Offside has started more arguments than almost any other rule in football. Fans scream. Players complain. Commentators disagree. Social media explodes. Last season alone in the Premier League, 32 goals were ruled out for offside by VAR. 32 moments of celebration. 32 crowds that went silent. And some of those goals were canceled for a shoulder blade. Not a foot, not a knee. A shoulder blade that crossed a line by a few centimeters. The average VAR check takes 64 seconds. 64 seconds of silence in a stadium of 60,000 people, waiting for a decision that could change a season. Even professional coaches sometimes need several replays before they know the correct decision. So what makes this rule so confusing? Most people believe offside is simple. If the attacker is behind the defenders, it's offside. Sounds logical, but it's completely wrong. That's why perfectly legal goals are called robberies. And obvious offsides sometimes aren't offside at all. So what is everyone missing? Here's the truth almost nobody explains correctly. Offside is not about where the attacker is standing. Read that again. It isn't about where the attacker stands. It's about where the attacker is. The exact instant the ball is played by a teammate. That single moment freezes everything. The ball, every defender, every attacker, time itself. The referee isn't judging where the player receives the pass. He's judging where the player was when the pass was made. That's the secret. And once you understand that, everything suddenly starts making sense. Here's the truth almost nobody explains correctly. Offside is not about where the attacker is standing. Read that again. It isn't about where the attacker stands. It's about where the attacker is. The exact instant the ball is played by a teammate. That single moment freezes everything. The ball, every defender, every attacker, time itself. The referee isn't judging where the player receives the pass. He's judging where the player was when the pass was made. That's the secret. And once you understand that, everything suddenly starts making sense. Let's slow football down. Imagine someone presses a giant pause button. The passer's foot touches the ball. Freeze. Now ignore where the ball goes. Ignore how fast the attacker runs. Ignore who scores. Only one picture matters. This picture. If the attacker is ahead of both the ball and the second last defender at this exact moment. Offside. If not, play continues. Football only checks one photograph. Not the whole movie. This one is easy. The striker is clearly beyond the defensive line. The pass is played. Everyone can see it. Even without VAR. Offside. Simple. But this is not the situation that causes controversy. The next one is. Now watch carefully. Everything looks perfectly timed. The striker waits. The defender steps forward. The pass is released. Freeze. Zoom in. The striker's shoulder is just a few centimeters ahead. Not his foot. Not his head. His shoulder. That tiny difference cancels the goal. And we're not talking about meters. Or even centimeters. In some Premier League decisions, the margin has been less than the width of an armpit. A shoulder. A toe. A kneecap. That's why VAR cameras now run at 50 frames per second, just to find the right 20 milliseconds. And even with all that technology, selecting the wrong frame by just one can shift a player's position by up to 20 centimeters. 20 centimeters. That's the difference between the goal of the season and nothing. This is why modern football uses calibrated offside lines. Human eyes simply aren't accurate enough.